Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly lead nudge. I'm happy to have you here. And I'm so excited because today I want us to have a conversation about the topic of mentoring and how that is related to a very important skill to have as an inclusive leader. So let's start with the basics. And I'll tell you a little bit about what is my definition of mentoring. For me, mentoring is a two-way relationship based on trust, based on respect, but most of all is based on the commitment towards the mentee's growth. Now, that commitment not only comes from the mentor towards the mentee, but it needs to come from the mentee themselves, from the mentee themselves towards their own growth. When it comes to the type of skills that are needed, this is quite important because it all starts from active listening. And for me, what that means is basically putting a bit of a break into all those ideas that we want to share, all that experience that we want to share, and really just taking a step back and giving space for the mentee to provide context, to share their situations, to share their challenges, and really just holding back on that advice monster that we sometimes have, and rather than just jumping right into providing that or advice or recommendation, just trying to go a little bit deeper and understand, is this situation coming from a skill gap, or is this more from a behavioral change that is needed from the mentee's perspective, and really just having those candid conversations. Um, of course, that means later on giving space and time to provide support, to provide guidance. And at the end of the day, mentoring is about sharing our experience, right? Sharing our own thoughts and recommendations on how to deal with certain situations. But at the end of the day, is leaving space for the mentee to discover their own journey and take their own path. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy from mentoring is the fact that it's a two-way relationship. And that means that as a mentor, we actually learn a lot from our mentees. Just last week, I had a super interesting conversation in which my mentee provided me with her own, she shared her own framework on a weekly reflection exercise that she does. And I actually did it last week, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. I enjoyed so much, and I really got to feel that two-way relationship in which I was also learning something and growing from those conversations. So it really needs to be like a two-way relationship. Now, how does mentoring as a skill fit within the topic of inclusive leader, and what exactly do we need to master as an inclusive leader when it comes to mentoring? And here is where the topic of unconscious bias comes into place, specifically the affinity bias. What is affinity bias? It's an implicit cognitive bias that tells the brain that we really should focus and that we automatically like people that think and look like us. So how is that connected to mentoring? Well, a lot of times, because of this unconscious bias, we try to recreate or create versions of ourselves and create mini-me versions by thinking that by sharing our experience and our recommendations and our advice and our thoughts, that mentee is gonna actually recreate some sort of version of ourselves. And we need to be a little bit, first of all, candid about recognizing that behavior, but also be kind to ourselves, right? Because that is going to happen. As a mentor, that is going to happen. It's an unconscious bias, and it's not about beating ourselves about it. It's about recognizing that that is something that it's built within our brains, and we just need to be aware. Take a step back I had a situation like that last year. And it's about taking a step back and recognizing it, and really just encouraging the fact that this is the mentee's journey and they need to go figure it out as well. And is sometimes we are going to share our experience, but at the end of the day, it's about the mentees to follow their own path. So for this week, it's about the call to action is about really just if you're already having a mentor or a mentee, is about trying to spot those unconscious bias. And if you are an aspiring leader and you do not have still a mentee, I will encourage you to try to find one, because it will allow you to experience these type of skills and really just master it. So I I'm sending all the best energy for this week, and remember to lead as you are, with courage, inclusion, and heart.